What if I told you that everything you know about deck builders has been wrong? What if I told you that Clever Mojo Games and Game Salute came out with a game by Ian Stedman that blew away the competition of all the other deck building games? What if I told you that it combined clever mechanics and made things just different enough to turn things around? What if that game was Magnum Opus? Join me and let's discover Magnum Opus together. I'm going to walk you through how to set it up and walk you through a little bit so that you can see how to play Magnum Opus and understand how it's different than other deck builders. Welcome back to the Game Academy. I'm Mark Wilson, and today we're going to explore Magnum Opus. Now, Magnum Opus from Game Salute and Clever Mojo Games. Clever Mojo is probably one of the better groups that works through Game Salute. And as you're going to see, there are tons of tuck boxes in the game, and some you have no idea what to put in them, but that's okay. I just put stuff in them and deal with it. Alright, that's alright. You've got these handy little cards to hand to everybody. Good quality. And they're going to basically tell you what to do throughout the game. They're going to have everything you could want to know. Then, we've got to take these out and set up the game. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, the big disclaimer: setup is probably the hardest part of this game. Once you get playing it, the game itself, easy enough. However, setup is the pain. So we got to go through here and we got to find some different things. So I'm going to show you these things and what they are. So first of all, let me see here. We've got your different components. You have mystic components that we're going to be using to use alchemy to mix these with some everyday components. So I got to set these aside. First of all, I'm just going to put those up there. That's my first thing. So we got those components out of the way. Now I've got some different artifacts that are going to come into play. You can divide these out, set them up however you want, but I usually just leave them in a deck of cards and let players fish through them throughout the game. It's easier, trust me. You get tired of setting everything up and sorting everything out after a while. Alright, so here we got our regular alchemical compounds. Lead, quicksilver, vitriol, aqua regia, you know, all the good stuff. So we got those. We're creating a XY axis here, and I'll explain that in a moment. Here we got some dice. No, not dice. Money. Just regular dinero, moolah, whatever you want to call it. Gold coins. In here we've got, oh, there we got dice. Everybody gets a die of their color if you want to consider you have a color. Experience tokens. Those will help you modify your rolls. So here we go. Good stuff. Alright. Lots of stuff. Now we've got this little reagent card. We're going to put that Up there we got research. It's going to go up yonder. We've got these research items, tools, knowledges. These are going to be very, very, very handy. Very nice. Motor and pestle. Who couldn't use one of those? So we shuffle those up. We like research very much. Those are going to be some of our most important cards in the game. Although these are too. These are the items that you're going to need to complete your Magnum Opus. So we usually kind of put these way up yonder in the North 40. Let me see if I can slide some stuff down here. Anyway, those go up there, and these are going to list, like, you know, serpent scale, maybe lead. It just depends. Kind of random. Alright, what do we got next here? Alright, so then we've got some of our trade skills, some of our necessary things. Then those are going to kind of go across the bottom here. And then we got our starting cards for our starting decks. Just your basic cards that are going to be in everybody's deck. I just put those in their own box, make it a little bit easier to set up. Because Lord knows this game has enough tuck boxes for everything. And then finally, we've got our discovery cards. These are part of the heart of the game here. What you want to do first is there's some cards called Magnum Opus clues. And those you have to take out because those have to be in the game. If those aren't in the game, you will not be able to end the game. So make sure that those get into the game. Alright. Next part is I'm going to divide these. So we got serpent scale. The order you put these in doesn't really matter. It can be random, but everything else is random enough. So you could start with just Vile Thorn, then serpent scale. You notice there's a price in the upper corner on these cards. Let me see if I can focus on this here real quick. Like Dragon Blood has a cost of 3 in the upper corner here. Okay, so that's kind of important, as you'll see soon. But I organize those usually via cost just to make everything a little bit easier. So you're going to basically form a 4x4 grid. So we got our lead, Quicksilver. I always keep extra Quicksilver in my house. Never know when you'll need it. A little vitriol. I'm full of vitriol. And some Aqua Regia. Alright. I'm not sure if you can... We're getting pretty much everything in there. Okay. Now, we go to the next part. We make sure we got these in here. So we got 13 more cards to add. These are just random discovery cards. We take 13 of these, and the rest of them won't be used in the game. And we just kind of add these in and shuffle those up. Now, earlier I showed you those research items or cards. Like that's the Book of Abramelin the Mage, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to just give these a quick shuffle. How do you do? And I'm going to turn these sideways. There's a reason, just so you can see it more clearly, but I'm just going to go across like this. Boom, boom, boom. Well, maybe not boom, but anyway, I go across like this. These items you will get if you complete something successfully, if you complete this compound concoction before anybody else does. The rest of these can go up yonder. Now I place these discovery cards like so. Now, however you want to lay them out, it doesn't matter. I'm just doing it this way because I'm weird. Alright. So these are discoveries we want to make. And the way we're going to do that is by mixing one mystic component with a alchemical compound. And so let's say I combine Serpent Scale and Quicksilver. It's going to meet up, use your XY axis. It's going to meet up here, and whatever's on this discovery is what it's going to do. It's going to do something. And if I do that successfully, I get what's underneath here too as a bonus for being the first person to do that. Woohoo! You kind of get cool things for doing things first. So that's what it's going to do. Next thing we're going to do is, well, I'm running out of room here, but across the bottom, I'm actually going to set these across the side here just because of space purposes. We've got some trade skills like infuse oils. We've got transmute lead to gold, which is a master trade skill and cannot be purchased normally. You'll see it has no purchase price. Oops. And transmute lead to silver, same thing there. And we have formulate medicine, which costs you 7. This one only costs you 3. Okay, so we have trade skills. What trade skills do, really, is they're a way for you to gain money and draw more cards. That's all they're really useful for. We'll talk about that in a moment. Now what I need to do is I need to take 3 of each of these compounds and alright, just make sure you got it shuffled up as good as you can. Toss it up here. That's 3 of each of these components, and it's in a randomized deck. And I'll explain what that means to you here soon. Alright, this little thing doesn't come with it, but I'm using this because I'm going to walk you through a little bit of this here. Alright, the next thing I want to do is everybody will get 3 money, right? So $3 cash to buy cards. In this game, unlike in a lot of other games, you actually literally gain your gold pieces. You spend those, and if you spend them, they're spent. And you can accumulate them over time. Whereas a lot of these games, it has them on the card, and if you don't spend it, it's just gone, and you never see it again. Not in this game, my friend. No, no. Alright, so the next thing we do is we create our deck. So we've got 6 attempt transmutation cards is what they're called. I'm going to I'm going to take 6 of those and 4 prepare herbs. Ah! They flew all over. Okay, so anyway. I've got those. And I'm going to make my little deck here. And shuffle it up real good. And kind of give you an idea of what we're going to be doing. So in this game, you're going to have 5 cards in your hand. And one of the cool things is you can actually save some cards from round to round. That's pretty nice. Oh, one other thing that I wanted to go over real quick, because if you have, and I'm not sure if this is in every copy or not, but there is kind of a minor expansion where you have these alchemist characters. And this adds a little bit of flavor or variability to the game. So what I recommend is if you do play with this, shuffle these up, hand 2 to each player, and have them pick 1. It just adds a little bit to the game. At the beginning of your turn, you may decide to immediately discard your hand and end your turn to gain 2 experience tokens. That can be useful, as you'll figure out later. And you can have no more than 5 experience tokens. You have when any opponent successfully performs a transmutation, which we'll talk about, that reveals a discovery in the matrix, you may roll the transmutation die. If the result is even, you take an experience token. So these add a little bit, gives you a little bit of flavor to the game that otherwise wouldn't be there. It's just a little expansion. There's no rules covering it in the actual rule book. So if you do get these, the guy got this light blue or dark blue back. I highly recommend that. It adds a lot to the game, I feel. So otherwise, you get your 8-sided die. And we've got this little chart here, and it's going to walk us through everything we need to know. So we get our hand of 5 cards, and I'm going to back up here so that we can kind of see what's going on. I'm going to take you through a few turns and kind of explain things as we go through. I've got 3 money. I'm not going to play with the characters because I think that might confuse you a little. So let's not do that. Let's start off and figure this game out together.